So we left off when I was talking about Samboa. Yeah, I lived in Norway for a good 8 years. I was in Norway for 8 years. I went there as a student, but ended up staying for 8 years before I left for the US. Now, in Norway, that was where I also learned this. In Ghana, I know that in the Ashanti region, you have similar relationships. Something like they also call it impna tree. Like impna tree can go deeper, where um, the woman lives at home, the husband also lives in their family house, and then the woman always cooks in the evening and goes to sleep. They will take the dinner to the man and then goes there to sleep. And the next morning she comes back home and then she goes in the evening again with food for the man. And even that one was, uh, um, the families agreed. They agreed on something like this for the two people to engage in. And I mean, some of them, most of them actually ended up with children along the line, but they were not married, formally married or I mean, traditionally or in the traditional way or otherwise. They were not married, but they could just visit each other like this every day. They had children, but that is different. So this was what I knew about. In our, I come from the Upper West region of Ghana, so I'm a Dagao, and so in our culture, there's nothing like that. Like you cannot, we don't even have a word for boyfriend or girlfriend because it doesn't exist. As soon as you see a woman, you married a woman. You go and tell your parents, I just saw this woman at the market. The next time they will make things happen, they will pay the price, the bride price, and then the woman will be brought to you. And then, in fact, I'm just not brought to you, but you have to go according to some customary rights and things like that. And you are married, but you must be married before uh, going out with a man. Okay, having sex or going to sleep at a man's house. That one used not to be the case. I won't say that it is still the case because right now there are so many problems of teenage pregnancies happening all over the country and also in the Dagaba land. So I'm not going to say that, but I'm talking about the traditional setup in the past. So when I got to Norway, and I'm talking about the 80s, and getting to know about this Samoa thing, I was surprised. I said, "What? How?" Because there were friends that were together, had children, and I always thought they were husband and wife. But then the next time you ask them, they will tell you that, "Oh, he's just my boyfriend. He's just my girlfriend. We are boyfriend, girlfriend." I said, "Ah, but you live together." They said, "Yes, it's allowed." They live together, they share the bills and everything. But in time, I mean, and when one of them dies, for example, the inheritance, when it comes to inheritance, is a different thing altogether. The man can not inherit the woman, neither can the woman inherit the man. So everything that they have is for them till death. Okay, so their people, their family can take whatever belongs to them when they die, not the man or his people. Okay, if they have children, then the children are also entitled to these things. So I always found it very strange. But then that is it. It also happens in some cultures. So all these things still happen and they are able to stay for long. I saw some Samoans who were there at the time I got there. They had been there for 20 years and they were still together when I was leaving. And probably they lived all together for a longer period or are still even together. So when we talk about, but then why am I mentioning this? I'm just saying this because it means that even in situations like this, people can make it work because the attraction is there. It's a strong one. It was they didn't think that it had to take marriage to give them a strong relationship. So they went the way they wanted, and probably maybe they were testing things out. But then you see, they tested it out. The next 20, 30 years, they are still together. So sometimes it's not just the marriage that for people who can live together and not be bored with each other, it doesn't even take marriage. It doesn't take marriage. Um, you can be in a relationship like what I'm talking about right now, cohabitation. That is, I think that is it in English, is cohabitation. People habitate, and yet they don't. They are still able to be happy and excited about each other for a long time. Now, some may say that because they are not married. That is why. Or yeah, maybe they see themselves as girlfriend, boyfriend. So um, the but they are also living together. Remember, if you live together, it's the same as having been married and then living together. But there was a time that I talked about this issue with somebody, and this person also said, I mean, she was talking about the time she met her husband, and I mean, the things that used to happen between them, and then after they married, the way things changed. And it surprised her. As soon as the ring was put on, the husband became a different person. That too is there. That too happens. And so that is why, in all these things, when we are talking about, there are so many angles to each aspect. That's why I said there are so many departments to marriage. And then one of them is the romance. The romance is very important because that is what will lead to the intimacy, a great or exciting intimacy. If you get the romance right, because the romance we are talking about attraction there, the attraction has to be strong to the point that when we were talking about toilet seats, when they don't put your toilet seat down, you don't care. To the point that when they fart in front of you, you don't care. To the point that when they do certain things, you forgive. You know that you just overlook, because with this toilet seat, it shouldn't get to the point where you divorce. But if there's a strong attraction, you can talk it over. Oh, sweetheart, why don't you always put this thing back for me? I don't like it that way. And then, because even the way that you say it to the person, not that you just walk to the person and shout, yes, this is how you are always living this. If you start by blaming, nobody wants to be blamed. So I will come to the point. I mean, in the next episodes, I'm going to talk about even how to say things to your husband to keep the flame burning. We will get into all that. The words you use when you talk to even your partner is very important. And those words are the ones that will kick off the emotions and feelings in the person for the night, so that in the night when you are coming to lie beside them, they are not angry with you, and then that can lead to other things. So I will say that if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, share, send me your comments, like, stay tuned for more episodes. In the next episode, we are going to continue with this topic. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.